Hey everyone, what's going on? It is your AEW Rampage recap. My name is Sneed.
And it is now time to turn your attention to young Anthony of the Titantron podcast.
We have been given the keys to the tavern at late night here at the tavern. We had a
very late night.
2-hour Rampage. I mean, amazing event. You were there, which is even more amazing.
That's why I wanted to get on the show, because there's so much to talk about, both from a, watching it on TV standpoint, but also from being there, because wow, first AEW show I've been to, unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
As we already have some people coming in here. We got Tyson, of course.
Oh, am I going to have to, I don't think we're eating any crow tonight, but I mean, I can always look. So I have Adam Crow sits right next to me the whole time.
Adam Crow.
Yeah,
wow.
We have Adam Crow, and we have his theme song, which is, and I don't think anyone's eating any crow tonight, Tyson. But I appreciate you bringing it up, because he is the he is the new mascot here. So yeah,
go back and
I need to figure out what's going on, because I joined in the SmackDown for just a second, and I saw that the Tad Sack was a hat.
You just gotta check it out. I don't even know how to explain it. Nightcap at the Tavern, yes indeed. And look who's here. Mr. Styling Grace.
Hawk, how you feeling, man? Did you watch Rampage tonight?
Oh, that's always a good question to ask him.
Yeah, I want to know if he watched Rampage. I know he's been feeling a little under the weather, so
maybe that'll help him out.
Yeah,
a little style and grace.
That's what gets him through most things. So
of course.
Yeah. So Anthony got his shirt. Okay. Well, Hawk, you're more than welcome to jump on if you want.
Yeah,
if you want to jump on and talk, if you want to talk some Rampage, man, you're more than welcome. Tom says, how many?
I don't understand.
Because Hawk was sick.
Oh.
Hawk says it was a 24-hour bug. Yeah, those, 24-hour bugs will take it out of you, though, too. Those suck.
Yeah.
Yep. So you were there. You did.
I was.
You ran the whole gauntlet with him, man. 20,177 people in attendance.
Unbelievable stuff. It's like I was once you get to the Omega Danielson match, because everyone was in by that point.
Yeah.
I just looked around the crowd, and every section, except for like a good row, which they might have just closed off or whatever, everything was filled to capacity. And it looked amazing. Just all around the arena, the stadium just looked unbelievable, and probably the loudest crowd that I've ever been a part of, without question.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So it was in Arthur Ashe Stadium. So the way the stadium is, I know it's tennis. And one thing I've noticed from seeing a couple of tennis centers is they're built more up than out. So how is that with the seating, like the way that you could view and like the viewing of it?
It was honestly, so I was seated in section 136. But we had, from the Ring Fanatics, Nick, he was in the 200s, and he was with Jonah from Rewind, Recap, Relive. And so they were up in the 200s. So I went, to see how they were doing. Honestly, the seats up there were completely fine. You could see, wherever you were sat, you had a great seat and a great view of the arena. So everything really, the shape of the arena, everything worked well. So you really couldn't get a bad view, which I think really helped out.
Which, I mean, I get tennis sucks. tennis sucks. So, Hawk, I share that sentiment. I'm not a big tennis fan. Not a big Tennis fan, but it's cool that they did the event there. So, what was the setup? Like, how did they did Dark before, and then
So they did 3 matches for Elevation, which I was surprised that they did Elevation because I figured they would want to keep it at 4 hours, and I heard that they wanted to do the first hour of Rampage before Dynamite, then do Dynamite, then do the last hour. But they went 5 hours. They did 3 matches on Rampage, which had like Thunder Rosa, the Dark Order, and surprisingly Paul White. Which I thought was a smart move on their behalf.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that. I saw people posting pictures of Paul White.
Yeah, he went up against 3 local. Well, Ricky Shane Page was one of them, and 2 others who I can't think of the name. But it was surprisingly a good squash match for what it was.
Yeah.
And then then you got all of Dynamite. Then you got all in between. You had a acclaimed promo where they came out and they apparently challenged Tony Khan to a rap battle. And Tony Khan comes out, but he's like, I don't know how to rap, but I know someone who does. And he brings out Lil Uzi Vert, the rapper, who does absolutely nothing. He just stands there as Tony Khan gives like a very shitty rap. He's like, my name's Tony Khan, and I'm here to say I just suspended the Acclaimed for another 30 days. And the crowd goes absolutely crazy. And that led into Rampage. Just everything just worked so well on this show.
So they went. The only break between Dynamite and Rampage was the rap battle.
Well, they had like a good 15 minutes of setting up, so you had like that time to but that was you had some breaks in between, but for the most part it was really just like boom boom boom, you're going, and no breaks in between any of the matches when they filmed for Rampage. It was all just match after match,
live tape basically,
right? And I had no problem with that because I knew that they wanted to get everyone out of there before 12, which we still didn't because Eddie Kingston cut a promo after, and he starts the promo by going, and I'm sure I should be talking about this later, but I'll just say it now, that he goes, they're only giving me 1 minute to cut this promo, and everyone starts booing, and then he just starts talking about how much he loves New York, and he's going on, and then he goes, and you know what, for this time limit, fuck the time limit. And then he starts going on longer. Oh, it's so great.
That's classic Kingston. And we'll definitely get into Kingston because there's some cool stuff that happened with that match. And with him, there's Kingston, man. He's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Chad and I we finished watching Dynamite. We go directly into recording the podcast. We talked about it on the podcast, how we're recording and you guys are still there watching Rampage being recorded.
Yeah. It was just so weird that like it felt like it blew by though, like 5 hours of wrestling, and that's weird to say, but it felt like it just flew right by. Maybe because the matches were a little longer or whatever it may be, but like
that's the way it was. Well, that's the way it was when we went to All Out. The pay-per-view. I mean, the way that it flowed, man, it seemed like it was an hour long. And
yeah, absolutely.
That's just the flow. And so I guess another question is, how was did the crowd stay hot the whole time? It seemed like everything that they played, everything we watched, the crowd was just hot.
So the for all of Dynamite, crowd was electric. Like you heard it on Dynamite, that Danielson Omega match.
Oh yeah.
The loudest reaction it was deafening how loud it was in there. So they were like peak right there, and it, still maintained throughout the rest of the show. Once you get to Rampage, they're still very hot, especially for the first 2 matches. But then I don't know if they kind of edited it or whatever, but you got a lot of signature New York years that it was just going on throughout the entirety of the show. Did they edit that at all, or because it was in every match on Rampage?
Didn't hear a lot of it. No,
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they did it any chance that they could. When it was like a little spot of not, fast-paced action, you were hearing yours. It was so fun.
That's pretty awesome. Classic New York, man.
It was great.
So this show, we kick off the show with Punk and Hobbs. I mean, what a match to kick the show. And that's what I like about AEW. I mean, they always kick you off with a banger match. Punk comes out. He has tights on, or he has trunks on now.
Trunks.
Yeah, he wrestled which we got the spoiler from you in the
apologies, but
No,
I couldn't not spoil it though.
Oh,
It was like, everyone was so happy that he was wearing those trunks again.
Yeah, well, he came out in the long pants, and I think everybody lost their mind a little bit over it. But,
yeah, true.
But he came out, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go between him and Hobbs. I wasn't sure what kind of match they were going to have with each other, but they put on a show, man.
I will say, I think Punk actually looked a lot better in this match than he did the Darby match. And I think that's just fine tuning and, getting more comfortable with being in the ring. But yeah, he looked really great as far as selling for Hobbs and getting his big moves in. He was doing great.
Can't wait till Hobbs goes babyface and his snarl slowly disappears into a smile.
That's that character development. We'll slowly see the snarl into a smile.
We're gonna see him. He's gonna be babyface Hobbs, man.
Well, didn't he debut as a babyface and then they transitioned him to a heel?
Yeah, I think he turned heel on. I forget who he turned heel on. It
Moxley.
was on Dynamite.
It
was Moxley. Yeah. Yep. Because for the longest time he was just coming up through the dark.
Right.
Matches. He was just basically enhancement talent.
Yeah, but he works so well as a heel. Like even in this match, he's just so great.
Yeah.
Was there the I don't know if they edited it or not, but there was just a really close spot where I think it might have been like a Hurricane Rana off the top.
Yeah, so Punk was going up and he was going Hobbs, he grabbed Hobbs, he put his legs around his neck and went to pull him off, but Hobbs stopped it, but he ended up countering it and still getting the Hurricane Rana.
Yeah.
And it was a dicey looking spot, man.
Yeah, the crowd went like oof on that one. Like you could hear just everyone like fuck.
Yeah, well you could see it in Hook's face.
Yeah.
From the outside. I mean, you could hear the crowd go into it too, but you could definitely see it in Hook's face that, man, that was a close call.
Yeah, it was very, very close.
Yeah.
But thankfully he's okay. He got through the rest of the match.
And I was a little worried that Punk wasn't going to be able to get the GTS on Hobbs, man.
I love the GTS counter into the spine buster.
Yeah.
That popped me in the crowd. I was like, because me and Jonah thought that he got that GTS on him, and then you just boom right into the spine bust. We were like, that was great. It was so great.
It was just great to see. I mean, and I do agree with you. I think Punk's definitely shaking off that ring rust, and it's so awesome now that Punk's there. He's getting into the flow of it. Now we're just seeing him in matches.
Yeah.
And he's staying true to his word. He said, I'm not going anywhere. I have time. And it's fun to see him put the time in, and that we're just getting him he's just getting himself into the mix, man.
Yeah. And so far he's been 2 for 2 on his matches. The Darby match was very good. And I thought that this match was maybe even better. I love seeing the Macho Man elbow that even he was happy to pull off that move.
Yeah.
This was just a really good, I don't remember the last time that I saw Punk live. It might've been like a Raw in 2011. So 10 years later to see this match was just unbelievable. So I was really happy to see this.
I just wonder what his next feud's going to be. Who's his next?
Maybe Ricky Starks to continue the Team Taz stuff.
I mean, I could see that. One thing I would like to see is Ricky Starks go off commentary. I'm not a big fan of him on commentary.
Yeah, I agree.
He just doesn't bring the energy that I think is needed.
Has he been on commentary the last few weeks?
I think this is the second week he's been on.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know.
Do you think he was too lazy? Hawk, that's probably the case.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was. Just lazy. Yeah. He was in Chicago. He was at home. He felt comfortable. He sucked on commentary. I definitely agree with that.
I didn't even realize that he was on commentary until I looked over and I saw someone in like this gray suit. I was like, who the fuck is that? And then like Ricky Starks. And I was like, okay. Whatever.
We talked about it on the podcast, and Ricky came out and said that he was taking Mark Henry's spot. And I don't think Mark Henry's going to be on commentary anymore. I didn't think Ricky was going to be. I think Mark's just doing more of a backstage thing like he does the main event.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Ricky was going to like full-time replace him. He's been on there 2 weeks now. So I hope that it's not just a thing. I hope they get somebody else in there. And I think maybe the reason they didn't have Jericho on there, obviously he was in a match. So
yeah, true. I didn't even think Mark Henry was that bad, to be honest. Like, I think it was just fine tuning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's never been a color commentator. He's never had that role. So it's going to take some time to get used to it. I think he's great in the role that he does backstage. I think
absolutely. Those main event promos were great. We didn't get it at the live show, but I saw it. I was just going through to see if I missed anything, and I saw that they did that there. So,
so you didn't get the main event promo?
No, we didn't get a lot of promos. Actually, we didn't get the Thunder Rosa Jade stuff, and a lot of the matches weren't even announced. The only match for next week announced was that Miro and Guevara match.
Well, because it was on. You got that on stage,
right? Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of backstage, and that was the thing too with Dynamite and Rampage both. There wasn't, and a lot of times they'll do segments and recaps and stuff, but they didn't get it. It was more just straight up action.
Yeah, well, I think you needed to do that, like if you want to make it that pay-per-view quality feel that they've been hyping up. You know, you definitely got to put that focus on the matches, and I think that they did that to a T. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Says Ricky. Tyson says Ricky's been doing commentary in Dark and Elevation as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Which I know he.
Kingston's been doing a lot of commentary on Dark too,
which I'm all about.
Me too. He's great.
That dude is, as a mouthpiece, is probably one of the best out there. He's
even said that after he retires that he wants to do commentary full time, which I'm all behind.
Good, he should.
He's great. He's so great.
I mean, if anybody's gonna do it, I think he's good. Jericho's good. I know a lot of people get onto Jericho for screaming, but
I did too. That's why I was happy he wasn't on the call for Punk's debut. I didn't want any screaming on that one.
You get endless commercials for Roads to Hell.
Thankfully not. Oh my God, Hawk, you would have been so happy with my reception to Cody Rhodes live. The amount of stuff that I was chanting at this fuck, I was going so hard at him. Like,
dude, he was booed hard.
Let me just say that the crowd from the jump, right when Cody's big entrance hits, they are immediately turned off by Cody. Everyone's booing. He comes out, nuclear heat. There's a little bit of cheers for Arn coming out, and then Brandy comes out, and fucking the place explodes. Just boo, fuck you. It was, and I don't know why they thought, and I know I'm getting off topic on Dynamite here, but I don't know why they thought that Brandy spot doing like the cross-legged with Malachi was a good idea, but that probably was the most boos that I heard in that whole spot.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was it was a weird spot. I did like how Malachi handled it.
Yes.
I like just laughing at it like, what the fuck? Come on.
The amount of stuff I was chanting at that guy. At one point I just go, take your other fucking boot off, Cody.
I was hoping Malachi would pull him. Yeah, retire him. I'll be honest with you. I am looking forward to Roads to the Top. I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait for this show.
Oh man.
The preview, man. I love watching this backstage stuff. I love watching because
that is true.
Like I like seeing Cody standing at the Dusty position. I like seeing Tony Khan standing back there. I like seeing Doc Samson talking to Ricky Starks about his neck. Like, yeah, it's not, and that's what, like, I watched Total Divas too. Like Total Divas was.
I love Total Divas. It was a good show. Like
I loved watching Daniel Bryan and John Cena do their travel days and backstage, and I think that's what we're gonna get with this too. And I'm all for it. Which I'm kind of a sucker for some garbage TV sometimes anyway. It's just mindless shit, but whatever.
I think we need to get me and Hawk on a review for Roads to the Roads to the Top?
Roads to the Top. Why don't we?
I think that's the next Tavern show is me and Hawk. ripping apart Roads to the Top.
Well, we'll put me and Chad will come on too because we're both excited for the show, and I know you guys love Cody, so I think that'd be a good
tag team match right there.
Good back and forth. Did you see the size of his cape? The
Unfortunately, yes, I did.
Oh yeah. Well,
fucking can't with this guy. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we got 5 more matches on Rampage to get through. So
yeah,
let's
man,
get right into it.
Super Click versus Jurassic Express and Christian. You know, what was the pop like for Adam Cole in person? Because it sounded loud as shit on TV.
Unbelievably loud. That Adam Cole baby was deafening. There were just certain moments throughout the show that were just so loud. Like Danielson and Omega, just that stare down, the Adam Cole baby, Minoru Suzuki's entrance, just so loud. Jericho, so many just great spots here. Even the crowd during Jungle Boy's entrance was great. Same here.
I'm here for the Cody heel turn. That has to happen, Mike.
Yeah, it needs to happen.
That has to happen. But yeah, so when Adam Cole came out at All Out, that was probably one of the biggest pops that I ever heard.
Yeah,
live,
absolutely.
And even then, when he did the Adam Cole baby, everybody went nuts for it, and it just translates so well. And I know it's so loud in the audience, but so I thought this match was great. Like the Bucks are so smooth, man. I love the Young Bucks. Love them. I love that it was more orchestrated than what I thought it was going to be. I thought this match was going to be everywhere, and it was a little bit everywhere, but it was a little bit more orchestrated than I thought.
To be honest with you, and maybe this is just because I was really looking forward to this match. For me, throughout the entire 5 hours, this was my second favorite match on the card, just because of how just fine-tuned it was. It was overall just a really great match.
Yeah. I love the way when they took him outside and when they left Luchasaurus in the ring with Adam Cole, and because they tossed Christian, they tossed Jungle Boy, then they go back in the ring and he hits him. Well, first of all, he hit him with that the Sunrise.
Oh yes,
which I didn't know if he was going to be able to get Luchasaurus over on that, but
yeah.
Then they hit him with the BTE trigger, and then he gets the what was the
I forget the name.
The boom kick, the boom.
Yes, yeah.
And then gets the win over it, but over Luchasaurus, and man, they're so over. And we were talking Panama Sunrise, yeah. No. We were talking about it a little bit ago, and some people were talking about kind of comparing Roman Reigns and Young Bucks as far as like when people were being force fed Roman Reigns and were hating it. And they said, well, isn't it the same being force fed? And and Chad brought up the point. He was like, you're not being force fed when people love what the Young Bucks are doing.
Yeah. I mean, I was one of those people that just wasn't a fan of the Young Bucks because I just thought, I didn't really get it. But now that I'm watching AEW a lot more, I think the heel turn definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
I just get what they're doing now. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too goofy what the Elite are doing. But like, that's the point. You know what I mean? Like that's their thing. Right. It's like goofy to a point. Like that's their gimmick. They're not supposed to be, super serious Bullet Club heels. They're supposed to be like the Elite. That's what makes them different.
Right.
And that's what I really like about them.
Dude, Nick Jackson might be one of my favorite people in wrestling right now. Just his face, the way his facials are when he comes out, the way he looks at the camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm pissed your internet went out too, man. I hate that.
Man.
For you. Hate that for you. I told him, I said, let me FaceTime you, man. I'll let you watch from I'll FaceTime you while it's going on. Young Bucks weren't as good as baby faces. Yeah, I mean, they were good. They were over, but yeah, the heel turn definitely.
Yeah, it definitely like put them where they needed to be. And one thing I will say that AEW does really well that I picked up on watching was that they know, and we always say like they give the people what they want and whatever, but they know the little things too. Like for instance, for the entrances. Whenever there was like a tag team match like this, they would always let the entrance that the crowd would sing or get behind the most come out last. So you had Christian come out first, and then, you would have Jurassic Express so that the crowd could sing the whole entrance. And it's little things like that they really plan it out, and they make sure that the fans get the full experience, which I love because it added so much to my experience.
That's the thing. They listen to the fans and they let the fans, the fans, I'm not going to say they don't dictate it, but I mean, they let them have such a fun time with what's going on.
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
show. And, singing. I think I even clocked Hawk singing some Judas and singing some Jungle Boy.
Interesting.
Yeah, man, he was Hawk.
Any fish-ons or?
We didn't. But I think we have.
There we are.
There it is.
I had to get one in.
Yeah. Well, Tyson never lets it go.
No, Tyson and Hawk is our biggest feud. We need to get these two on an episode one day and just let them go at each other.
If there's ever going to be a wrestling match from the Tavern, it has to be Tyson and Hawk.
Absolutely.
The feud that these guys have going.
In the comments, no less. We haven't even put this on prime time yet.
Well, and
this is that's our dark show that we're running right now.
Well, Hawk's even got he even has his own little tagline there: God's favorite wrestling podcast.
So I guess he's the heel running.
He's definitely the heel. I think Tyson's the baby face in this situation. He says, "Test
me." Oh boy.
Who? Hawk, do you think you could take Tyson? Tyson, you think you could take Hawk? I want to know about. I'm going to egg this on.
Hey man, get us a ref. Let's do this. Let's get this going.
Where's Aubrey?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and even with Adam Cole, like that was another thing that when the Bucks come out, the Elite come out, Brandon Cutler, Don Callis, they all come out, and then Adam Cole comes out. He's part of the Elite, but he comes out on his own because they know that he's going to get just this pop.
Yeah.
So definitely. Much fun, man. But I thought this match was really good. Man, there was a spot in there too where Adam Cole had Jungle Boy in a Cobra clutch, and the Bucks did some rope. They did some rope running, and then they drop kicked him, and man, it was stiff. They got him pretty stiff in the face with it. Charles.
Oh shit! Sorry about that.
No, Charles Robinson.
Hey man, you got the connection to Aubrey. You met her. We got to get Aubrey in on this.
Yeah, here we go. He says that.
I'm hearing My Way playing in the background.
Ooh. TNT
baby. I love it.
Let's do it, man. Let's set it up. Hawk, it's a 5x5 ring. You think you can take him? Next, when we have Hawk on, I want him to pitch his 5x5 ring.
Okay.
He has he thinks that wrestling would be better if it was in a 5x5 ring.
All righty. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So next we had Men of the Year versus Jericho and Hager. And, one thing I've noticed, Jericho sells so well. He took a kick by Paige in this match, and he just fell, and it was so good. Just the way he's just a vet at selling. And we had Dan Lambert out with Men of the Year, but we didn't have any American Top Team out with him. So it was just Dan Lambert. And so it was a pretty clean match until the end when Dan Lambert grabs Hager's foot. What's your thoughts on it?
I love this entire show. 5 hours of wrestling. I was like, there's no way that anything is gonna make me unhappy. I saw fucking Bryan Danielson wrestle and CM Punk, and I saw Sting, and I'm about to see Minoru Suzuki. Nothing's gonna make this. And then I fucking see these random American Top Team guys come in, And I swear to God, the first guy comes on the screen because you can't see anything. It's like all the way down there. It's like little ants like coming in. I swear to you, I see the first bald guy come on screen. I go, is that Tito Ortiz? I was like, I had for the majority of that angle, I had no idea who he was. And then apparently, I don't know if you know who he was, the guy who got the most cheers, but everyone apparently knew who he was.
The guy in the summer
pajamas.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Jorge Masvidal. I believe he's the BMF, the bad motherfucker champion.
Okay.
He's a pretty big deal. And they had the people that were there were pretty big deals in MMA. I mean, they had Junior Dos Santos.
Are they? Okay. Well then,
Andre Arlovsky. Like, American Top Team is a huge organization. It's a huge team. And
I mean, the fans were pretty into it, especially when who would you say Jorge was his name?
Masvidal.
Right. Yeah. Especially when he came out, he really got a huge reaction. But honestly, not even just this angle, but the entire match. Like, I don't know. I didn't really think it was at the arena. Everyone was singing Judas. Exactly. Like, I'm glad I'm not the only one here.
And that's the thing. Like, wrestling and MMA, like, there's not a lot of people that are. I mean, there's probably a good bit of people that are going to know, but there's a good bit of people that aren't also.
Exactly, which I thought it was so weird that they put so much emphasis on this.
On those guys, yeah.
Without really building them up. You know, you've seen like a little crowd shots, but like nothing to really sell you on these guys.
Paige Van Zandt, she might be one of my favorites. I think she's.
Oh, was that who it was?
Yeah, Paige
I've
Van
heard
Zandt.
the name. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I like her. She's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I couldn't get into the match. Well, what I was saying was that Judas hits, everyone's singing it, match starts, you see people walking to the concession stands. It's like everyone knew, like, let me sing Judas and let me go out of here.
Yeah.
Like, no one was into like Jake Hager. I heard a lot of people just like shitting on.
Yeah, the poor guy. I think I like him. I like Hager, but
I don't know about him, honestly.
He's all right, but he's not the draw, man.
No, definitely
not the draw. And
it was smart to stick him with Jericho, I guess, but
yeah, that's how he's going to get his pops. And I don't think Men of the Year need. First of all, I don't think Men of the Year need each other.
No, I don't think not.
I don't think they need to be a tag team at all.
Yeah.
But they definitely don't need a mouthpiece.
Right.
They don't need Dan Lambert. They're not letting them. I feel like they're not letting them have the potential or live up to the potential that they have. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are both great on the mic.
Yeah.
Why are they not out there talking?
They cut a really good promo on that hype package for the match. You know, they didn't even have Dan Lambert in that promo. Oh, they did at the beginning, but for the most part, it was Scorpio and Ethan Page cutting that promo.
And Lambert,
so I don't know why you would put.
He just doesn't need to be there.
So who would you put Dan Lambert with if you had to pick a tag team to put them with? Who would you?
If I had to pick somebody to put him with, oh man. Honestly, if we're gonna do anything with Brian Cage, I'd put him with Brian Cage, because if anybody needs a mouthpiece, I think he needs one.
Yes, that's a good call.
I think he needs a mouthpiece if we're gonna put him with anybody. And I think it would be fun to see Taz and Dan Lambert go back and forth with each other.
That would be very good. Oh man, that's some good stuff right there. I
like
like the Dan Lambert character. I just think he's
good.
I just think he's in the wrong spot. I liked him up until this point because now I'm very confused of where they're going with this America Top Team.
Lambert doesn't need to be anywhere. Yeah.
I'm a fan. I like the vibe of bringing a Jim Cornette-esque character into AEW. He's good
at getting those. He knows how to get a reaction from the crowd for sure.
It's just such an interesting dynamic. And for me, it works really well. That's why I wish that he would have cut a promo at Arthur Ashe and got that reaction, really to sell home like what his gimmick is. But like, I don't know. It just doesn't really work.
Then book Jim Cornette. Hey, man, I would love to see Jim Cornette.
I would love it too.
In AEW.
He'll get canceled in about a week, but for that week it'll be golden.
As much as he is against AEW and as much shit he talks about AEW, I'd like to see him on
Me too.
The thing that was weird for me in this match was after when they're just whipping Jericho and Hager's ass in the ring, where was Inner Circle?
Yeah.
Where were they? Like they're in the ring just getting ripped apart, and there's no Sammy, no Santana and Ortiz. Like why? Where were they?
I mean, have they like broken up the Inner Circle? Because Santana and Ortiz are doing their own thing. Sammy's with Fuego and Miro.
Yeah.
It's only Hager and Jericho at this point, and it's barely Hager and Jericho. This is the first time we've seen these two together in how long? Like they might be just slowly breaking them apart.
And they could be, but here's the thing, like on the lower third, when they had Jericho and Hager's name, it says Inner Circle's 5-0 in their last 5 tag matches.
Oh.
So they're still saying Inner Circle.
Right.
So
I don't know.
Cornette learned his lesson at NWA. Maybe did.
Yeah.
You think Jim Cornette's ever going to learn a lesson though?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers think you can teach me a lesson? Fuck you and fuck your company.
Man, one of the best videos ever is that Burger King or the Dairy Queen drive-through. That is one of the absolute hands down best videos, not just wrestling videos.
Just videos,
period. Best videos, period. It's so damn good.
Unbelievable stuff.
Mike, I'm sure Mike's seen it.
Yeah.
So we go from that, which was such a weird cutoff that they just leave the screen.
I know. Yeah.
Them laying in the ring, getting their asses whooped. And then we go straight into Butcher and Blade Private Party versus Lucha Brothers and Santana and Ortiz. And this was a whirlwind of a match.
Yes.
The way it even starts, man, with the flip, everybody doing their flips on HFO on the outside.
Just really fun stuff. This is where the crowd starts to die down a little bit because like we were getting into that second hour of Rampage and it was like a little bit too much. But even then, crowd was still going crazy, especially for Santana and Ortiz. They were very with them. And Phoenix just does some great stuff. It always gets the crowd going.
I'll be honest, man. I think Phoenix might be one of the best wrestlers in the game right now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
As far as technical wrestling and high flying luchador style, I mean, it's some of the stuff that he does is unbelievable. It's unbelievable that the stuff
he's got to be the best high flyer that we've seen in the last how many years? Like,
oh man, I mean, a long time. It's been a long time. Yeah, they're both good and. I liked Santana and Ortiz's face paint that they used for this. Yeah. New York style, New York colors.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
I thought this match was going to be a setup for a match between Lucha Brothers and Santana and Ortiz. I thought something was going to happen because I feel like that's the next big. I think it should be the next tag feud.
Yeah, it definitely should be. I mean, like, who else have you built up, really, for the Lucha Brothers to the extent of having a big match like Pride and Powerful?
Yeah, I think, and if there's anybody that's deserving of it, it's Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the match was great. So you said the crowd started dying down. Even with
but even like not even that much, you know what I mean? Like you still had those your chants, like everyone was still, but this is the point, like, by this point, I guess the crowd figured we already saw CM Punk, already saw, Adam Cole, like this is where you start to die down a little bit. But still that energy was still there. You could still feel the electricity. Something I wanted to make a point of, across these last few matches,
Yeah.
and it's more for those because there was a lot of crowd reaction, is that so the only wrestling shows I've ever been to have been like WWE, besides like one TNA that was held in like a little league baseball stadium.
I remember when
And
they were doing those tours, man.
yeah, it was at MCU Park, the home of the Brooklyn Cyclones, and a few indie shows. But you know, the main shows I've been to: WWE, SummerSlam, you know, Raws after WrestleMania, all that stuff. What I got from the most accurate comparison that I can give from a WWE crowd compared to an AEW crowd is that if I compare it to like the movies, WWE crowds are like going to see a Marvel movie because, you know, you watch what you watch, you get your, you know, little reactions and you laugh, you know, get shocked, cheer, whatever.
Yeah.
But like very cookie cutter, you know, maybe some chance, whatever it may be.
Right.
An AEW crowd is like watching The Room, you know, like a group gathering of watching The Room, because there's all these different things, you know, like the spoon, like I'm talking about The Room here as I don't know if anyone's seen it, but like, you know, you have those spoon chants whenever like they literally, like they have gatherings where they watch The Room, and there's like little pictures of spoons throughout the movie. And whenever there's one on the screen, the crowd will throw plastic spoons at the screen.
Yeah.
And like there's all these different things that they chant, and it feels like such a different vibe, which that's the only way that I can compare a WWE crowd to an AEW crowd. Like you go in immediately, it's such a different vibe. Like the people that are there, it just feels like a lot cooler. I guess that's another way to put it. Like everyone just feels like they're there to see a wrestling show. Like I didn't see any kids there. I didn't see anyone, you know, there were a few old people there actually, which I was surprised at. But you know, everyone's there to just be a wrestling fan, which I think is so dope.
I think the big thing is that when you go to a WWE show, you go to watch the show.
Right.
When you go to an AEW show, you go to be a part of the show.
Yeah, good call.
There's
Absolutely,
it's two totally different things. It's, you know, WWE, you sit down, you watch, you get your popcorn, you watch the show.
Yeah.
AEW, man, you're giving holy shit chance. You're giving, you're a part of the show.
Absolutely,
which is good, which is very evident of fans being part of the show, because AEW listens to the fans,
right?
Which makes the fans even more rabid because they're getting what they want.
It's like, I would say that this was the loudest crowd that I've ever been a part of, but for a personal standpoint, I still put the Raw after WrestleMania 29 over it, because like it was such a, like, you had to be there kind of feel, like Dolph cashing in and the Sheamus and Randy Orton match that the crowd could give less of a fuck about, and they were chanting like Randy Savage and all these different names. It was so crazy, but this is definitely up there.
But the thing about it back then too, like WrestleMania 29, Raws after Mania still meant something. I feel like even now they just don't mean anything.
No, absolutely not.
But those Raws, like Raw after Mania, like around 29 and before that, like, man, those it meant something. Like, I would look forward to Raws after Mania more than almost WrestleMania.
Yeah, because it was always the crowd. Like, you know, you had a lot of Europe countries coming in, and they always have like fucking amazing chants. So they would get, you know, that's where the Fandango chants started. You know what I mean? Like all these crazy stuff. No, of course it did, but like it's a different vibe. Like, you know, I can't compare this AEW crowd to the WWE crowd, because although this was the loudest crowd that I've ever been to, WWE was most creative crowd I've ever been to.
Yeah,
I guess that's something to say. Both are up there. I would just put WrestleMania a little higher, just because like more nostalgia, and I like the creative chants. Plus, the Dolph Ziggler pop was again one of the loudest I've ever been to.
So. Yeah, felt like a pay-per-view type of environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Nick, were you there too?
Yeah, he was sitting in the 200s with Jonah.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Yeah.
But there was a point.
Did Jonah wear his tux?
No, sadly he did not. I was pulling for it, but no. And Nick and Jonah were sitting up in the 200s, and there was a row that a lot of seats were open behind me. I was like, you guys can just come down here, like chill, sit with me for this Rampage taping. So they come down, and we're just watching the Rampage together. Oh, it was
Oh, so
really
they
great
came
time.
down and hung out with you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. We wanted to make sure that like no one was sitting in the seats behind us because we saw some people like moving around. So we waited until Rampage and we were like, all right, you guys can come down now. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So after this so during this match, Orange Cassidy comes out.
Yes.
So he comes out pretty much Jack Evans, they chase away, they go in the back, and then after the match, Tony's in the back with Matt Hardy. And Matt, did you guys get this?
No.
Okay. So Tony was in the back with Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy and Jack Evans were talking about Orange Cassidy, and Matt Hardy he had a pair of scissors. He said, every time I go to cut someone's hair, Orange Cassidy interrupts me. He's like, it's not your business. He was like, so I challenge you to a hair versus hair match. So he challenges Orange Cassidy to a hair versus hair match. He says, so it's going to be Orange Cassidy and Jack Evans. So he puts Jack Evans' hair on the line, and Jack's like, wait, what? No, I don't want to. Hold on. And he was like, no, you can do it. You're going to do it. I was thinking we were going to get a hair versus hair match. And I really, really wanted it to be Hardy versus Orange Cassidy for this.
Yeah.
I think I'm disappointed that it's Jack Evans.
Yeah. I mean, like looking in hindsight, I don't think there was any way Hardy was going to do a hair versus hair match.
And that's why I thought like it would make it way more interesting. Cause I feel like now we know Jack Evans. Orange Cassidy is what's great is that Orange Cassidy was standing around when we were at Mike's hotel in Chicago, and Cassie had her Orange Cassidy t-shirt on as he's standing there. I was like, you got to go tell him, you got to go say, hey, Cassie, awesome. Did you say anything? I don't remember. Did you say anything to Orange Cassidy that night?
Was he like in character? Did he have the shades on or anything? Or
he was all in denim.
Nice.
He was definitely denimed out. Yeah. Matt Hardy's losing his hair in this. He's not wrestling in the match.
Yeah, he still could lose his hair, I guess.
I mean, I guess he could, but
again, we get a little banter here.
Oh, here we go.
Matt not going to sacrifice his hair, and you know nothing, Tyson.
You know nothing.
I gotta play like the WrestleMania X7 in the background. My way or the highway.
Yeah. I was a super fan.
Super fan.
Yeah. Yep. What'd she say? He looked at me though, and I knew he was thinking, oh, great. Yeah, that was the thing. We didn't want to be complete and total marks at the hotel.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
everybody was there. Like, I mean, when we were sitting at the bar, like it was like a who's who of who's coming in.
Right.
And
the only person that I heard was coming in while I was online was Andrade. I didn't see him. I heard the crowd chanting for him, but like I didn't see him at all. But I thought it was cool that he was walking in. Was he on commentary for any of the matches? Because
Andrade?
Yeah.
No, he just did they had a little backstage package with him where he talked about having another match with Pac and not having and not having, Chavo's not going to be there this time. He's not going to, he said he wants to have his matches with honor. So,
okay.
And then after the Shivani thing, which you guys didn't get to see, Sammy and Fuego come out on stage with signs. They're standing there with signs, and Miro comes out and just wrecks them.
Yep. Really, really good stuff. I was a little disappointed because I went into the show not thinking I was going to see Miro. And then I see Miro. I'm like, all right, I've seen everyone that I needed to see in AEW on this one taping.
Yeah.
I was really happy about that.
So poor Fuego just gets his absolute ass stomped by Miro all the time. Miro murders this guy. When I wore that shirt, I never dreamed I'd be in the bar with him. That's so true. I mean, I didn't think we'd be in the bar with anybody. And then when we walk in, the first person we see is Ric Flair. So
yeah,
that is wild. MJF's parents. Oh, I saw that. I saw them post pictures of that. That is amazing that they had signs like that.
Such fun stuff.
Oh, a
lot of good signs in the crowd, actually.
I'm so glad the sign era is coming back, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the best signs that I saw from the night was it said Vince fears coherent storylines.
Yes, I saw that one.
It's such a good sign.
Personally, I think the best sign at the arena was the Turnbuckle Tavern sign that yours truly bought.
But
I don't think it made it on TV, sadly. But
people saw it, though. That's what counts.
People definitely saw it.
There were 20,177 people in that place.
At least one saw it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. We should have took out an ad for the Tron above the ring. Should have Turnbuckle Tavern ad above that.
Oh,
probably wouldn't have cost that much money, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Hey, Mike, who's your guy with the signs? Let's get him to get us a sign at the rest of inside the arenas.
I certainly don't have a New York guy, so I'm hoping Mike Belcaster has a Chicago guy and a New York guy.
Mike's got a guy everywhere, man.
Mike's got all the guys.
He'll get us a guy. But yeah, so after this, we had Anna Jay and Penelope Ford, which it was a solid. I mean, they worked so stiff with each other. It was a solid match. And then Bunny passes the brass knuckles in, and Penelope lays out Anna Jay.
Yeah.
Lays her out. And then I was a little confused as to why Ty Conti wasn't out there already. Her music hit, and I think people were confused. Either that or the crowd was just dead.
A little both. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, her music hit, and I saw a couple of people stood up and looked, but for the most part, it didn't make people really cared.
Yeah, the crowd really wasn't into this match as much as the other ones. And I think that was just, again, like we were getting close to the end here. And although it's been a really hyped up feud as of late, but yes, actually, you know what? Hold the floor. I will be right back.
Yeah. I want to bring up another while he's gone. I'll bring that up. We get a fuck Penelope Ford. Yeah. I mean, she whipped your girl's ass. That's you definitely should have said something to Anna Jay when she was in the bar. Yeah, like she should have been out there with her. That's her girl. I don't know why she was in the back. I think he's got his.
There it is.
There it is. Turnbuckle
Tavern.
I love that it's on neon green too.
Well, that was the whole thing, is that I texted the group chat and I was like, quick question, green or orange? Yeah. And then you guys picked green. I was like, okay. And then J-Bone was like, what's the payoff here?
Payoff for that. I saw that and I didn't even
And then I put the sign and I go, the payoff.
Yeah.
I tried to get this one to make TV, but I'm just here to sing Judas.
Just here to sing Judas.
I was waving around hoping it was going to be on, but unfortunately it wasn't. I had another one that I brought. It was shout out to Joe Fo in the ring. # anybody but Cody.
That's a Hawk. Hawk's going to like that one.
That's a Hawk one too. And on the back, just a cheap plug for this Sunday, Classic Match Classroom. Nice. Coming your way with a new episode. So I made sure to get that one in there too. But yeah, I was happy to bring in those signs because I don't remember the last time I brought a sign. I think it was the Raw After Mania. It was the last time I was able to bring a sign.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Do they check? They don't. Do they check what your signs say? Like as you come in, do they have
No.
anybody checking? Okay, that's good.
That's why I didn't hold up the Cody sign just in case it would get confiscated, because that would definitely be one that they would be like, oh, we can't have fucking Cody be a, have an anti-Cody sign. Take that shit away.
Which,
But,
yeah, people are gonna hate Cody. People hate Cody. So
right here.
Yeah. So Dark Order comes out. So at the end of this match, it gets just wild, man. So HFO come out and they're standing their ground on the ring apron. And then Dark Order comes out. Well, first Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander come out, and then Dark Order come out, and then everybody goes to the ring. And then Dark Order, there's still some dissension between them, man.
Yeah.
There's still.
How do you feel about this whole story?
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
okay with it.
And I know that it's not the ideal situation, but I honestly believe that Bray Wyatt is going to come in. I think he's going to be the new leader of the Dark Order, and I think some people are going to join and some people are going to leave. I think he's going to be the person to bring them together. As much as I don't think that should be the way it is, I think that's what it's leaning towards.
Yeah, I could see. We got the Rochester show next week. I think there was a report that said that Bray could something about like he could sit the rest of his contract and not take any money, or like the rest of the 90-day clause, he just gets no money from the rest of that time, and then he's able to work wherever he wants. So like maybe he'll be able to show up earlier than whenever his clause ends, but
it would. The Rochester show would be a good show for him to show up. It's Brody's town. Yeah. Paige is going to reunite him, and that could happen too, man. I definitely see that. I think Paige's next thing, though, I honestly think his next thing is with Omega.
Yeah,
his next thing is I think he's going to focus on that title when he comes back. I hate that he's gone right now. I hate it.
Me too. Absolutely.
I think he needs to be there, man. I know you had a kid. I know, and I get it, but I think you need to be. This is the time you need to be there, man.
Yeah, no, I missed him on this show. Like I really wanted to see him in a match, but hopefully we'll get that at Full Gear. Omega and Paige, 1 year from their first, big match that they had.
Yep,
it only makes sense,
happens, man. So then we have the main event.
As I switch over headphones, start talking about the main event. I'll switch over these headphones because my AirPods are about to die. So
well, you've been doing some talking, man. So we had Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki versus Mox and Kingston in a lights out match. I thought it was a little, and you being in the crowd, I thought it was a little bit weird. Just the way they did. I thought it was a little weird, just the way they did. They turned the light off and then turned it back on.
They did that for the, what was it? The Thunder Rosa match, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I felt
still like very weird.
It felt like for that one though, like they turned everything off, left it for a minute and then turned it on. I feel like this one was very much just it was just an off on.
just a quick
flip of the switch and then that was it. But what a pop that what was Kingston's pop like? Because it felt like he was just received super well.
Really loud. He was easily the most over guy in this match. From the entrance, it was hard really to like give him that proper pop because it was the Wild Thing entrance. But once you get into the match, everything that he did was received really well by the crowd. Yeah,
and man, what a story with him, man. What a story. This guy comes in during the pandemic. He comes in, takes an open challenge for the TNT title. When they called him, he had to scrape together to buy wrestling boots because he sold his wrestling boots because he was done with wrestling.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he does this match. There's a massive movement with the hashtag sign Kingston,
Right.
sign Eddie Kingston. He gets signed, and now he's main eventing Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York City.
It's unreal.
What a fucking story, man.
I didn't see the promo that he cut, but apparently, like the promo, the video promo that he did on YouTube, but apparently it was really passionate too, and he was like so happy to be in that spot. That's why to give him this main event, like it probably meant the world to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Cassie says, I asked Chad when they go, where they going to turn the lights off. He said, what are you talking about? The lights out match. Yeah, they did. They got the flip of the switch.
Yeah.
They flipped the switch. Man, this match was what was the deal with, and this part made me laugh. I don't know what was going on, but why was Lance Archer whipping these guys' ass around the ring? What was that about? Who were these guys?
I have no idea. It must just play into like when he makes his entrance and he throws the jobber around.
I mean, I know he like usually comes out of the tunnel just tossing somebody.
No, the crowd was all into that. That was like
I just was laughing.
It was so effortless every time he did that.
These guys are just getting their asses stomped by this guy. And they're not even in this match. Like I love Suzuki. His pop seemed like it was super loud.
Yep, it was.
Seemed
really
like
good pop for him.
There was no Suzuki incident this time. He got to get
thankfully. That would have been a whole other thing if there was a Suzuki incident.
Yeah. He explained it to me and I felt like an idiot. Unsanctioned. It's just unsanctioned.
There was a spot in the match when he does the duct tape and he starts duct taping him, and this guy could not duct tape for his life. He kept breaking off and whatever. There's a guy behind me that just screams, "First time, asshole!" Like he was just so mad that he could not get the duct tape around.
So who, Suzuki did the duct tape?
No, it was Lance.
Oh, Lance did it. Okay. Because
Yeah.
I think they did that during the commercial break. I think when they came back, Mox was taped up in the ring.
Oh, okay. That's probably why, because he just could not get that duct tape on him. It kept breaking off. It was not good. It took him like a good minute and a half to get that duct tape around his wrists.
Which makes sense why they took the break then. It honestly seemed a little weird that they took the break anyway, because I think that's when they took their last commercial break.
Oh, okay.
I think they said, we're going to our last break. So they come back. He's duct taped in the ring, and he's taking some shots, man. He's taking some shots. This was pretty much up until her Homicide comes in. This was pretty much just a Suzuki Lance Archer show. They were whooping their ass the whole show, the whole match.
Yeah, for the most part. And like, I love that Suzuki and Moxley were still going at it after the finish. Like the entire time they were still just going at it, which I loved.
One spot that I loved was when Kingston and Suzuki were trading chops, and Kingston chops Suzuki, and he turns to the hard cam and just laughs. I
love that. That popped the crowd really hard too. They were going crazy on that one.
Yeah, I mean he hit him and he just turned and just laughed. I mean he looks so crazy anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I had hair, I may do it like that. If I could grow hair, if I grew my hair out, it might look like that anyway. But but Homicide's music hits, which was crazy.
Yeah,
to see him show up. Just LAX, just classic, man. He comes in, Kingston's best friend comes in, helps them get the win, man.
Well, apparently they're doing a match in New York of Homicide versus Suzuki. I don't know what company it is. It might be GCW. I might be wrong. But apparently Homicide and Suzuki are going at it. It might have been tonight or tomorrow.
Suzuki's doing like a US. I mean, it's like he's on tour here. So
right, yeah. So this might have been a way to kind of tie in that match. I'm not sure if they mentioned it on commentary or anything, but They're apparently going at it somewhere. I
Let's
don't know
see.
if someone can let us know in the chat if that's true, if I'm making this all up, but
GCW, it looks like.
oh.
Minoru Suzuki versus Homicide for September show.
There you go. A little bit of promotion there for GCW.
That's for the Get Lost a Lot show, September 24th. No. What? Did they already wrestle?
Oh, they must have. Interesting.
I guess they already did.
Oh, okay. So that was so there was 2 Suzuki and Homicide interactions on Friday. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Huh.
And so it says Suzuki versus Homicide was a banger. Holy hell. 2 legends going at it.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that one out if we can find it anywhere.
And then I guess we're getting GCW Fight Club in Atlantic City. We're going to get Mox versus Gage versus Cardona in a triple threat. I thought Cardona said he was done. Thought he said he was done with death matches.
You never know with this guy.
Thought he said he was done. He lost his internet title tonight or last night.
I saw that, yeah. A
Yeah.
10-year reign.
Yep. Now Effie is the champ.
Unreal stuff.
Who would have thought that after his WWE run, after his long career in WWE, that this guy would be wrestling death matches for GCW?
Fucking brilliant stuff. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's the show. That's how we went off the air. And then you said Kingston cut his promo afterwards.
Yep, he got a little
long
promo.
Did his promo go?
About 3 minutes. He only was given 1, but then he went a little bit over. Talked about his mom in the promo, who was in attendance. He talked about how much he loves New York. Homicide and Moxley, and just a lot of passion, as is all of Kingston's promos. And just a great way to end off the overall taping, just to hear his voice kind of rallying the New York crowd.
I love that you were there, man. I'm so pumped that you got to go to that. Like, I was so jealous that you were there. And
it's a show that I'm never going to forget. Like, this is the show to go to see. Like, if you're trying to be like an AEW fan, like, this was the one to be at, because like I said, everyone that I wanted to see was there and more. Like, to see Minoru Suzuki in attendance is like a once in a lifetime thing that, like, the both of us share. How many times you're going to be able to say in your life that you saw Minoru Suzuki or see Sting, amazing stuff. I can't wrap my head around the fact that I was at that show. It was just incredible stuff.
It's crazy. And like, as a wrestling fan, man, like I feel honored to be able to say that I was there to see. I saw Sting wrestle a match, I see Sting wrestle a match in 2021. To say that I was there when Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson made their debuts.
That's like bucket list moments for a wrestling fan.
Yeah. And for you to be able to say, hey, I was in the attendance at this Arthur Ashe show that was such a monumental and huge, just a huge moment for professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period. Not just AEW, but for professional wrestling. I loved what Punk said on Dynamite too. He said, it's been a long time since I've been in New York City. He said it's been an even longer time since professional wrestling's been in New York City. So
he's right.
Now, Cassie, 100% right. Cassie, if you're still watching, what was it like for you? Because you weren't the biggest wrestling fan before going to All Out and attending the event, but once you attended All Out, how did that change your perspective? Because I know I talked to Chad about it, and he said that it kind of changed your perspective on it.
Yes, it was. First ever AEW show, and it won't be my last, because I'm going to be at the Long Island show December 8th. I'm in the 7th row in section F. So
nice.
Such a score on that. I was like logged into the pre-sale because I forgot it was happening, And like I got an email at like 9:55. It was like pre-sale at 10. I'm like, I'm fucking in there. And then I get in and I'm like searching around and there was a lot of tickets still left. I go in, I first see like next to the stage tickets for like 60. So I'm like, okay, pretty good, but I want to see if there's anything lower. So I go out and it was a risk because I didn't know if I was going to get that deal again.
Right.
I go section F, which is like usually where like the WWE commentary is behind on that side of the
oh
the
yeah,
crowd.
yeah.
So row 7, $35 seats. I was like
35.
Yes. I
Dude,
was like,
awesome.
what the fuck? So I was like, thank you very much. I will be taking those.
Yep.
And I'm going to that. I'm so excited. I don't even know like what to expect for, it's definitely not going to be Arthur Ashe, but like shit, like if it's even a little bit of what we saw at Arthur Ashe, like, man, I'm looking
When is
forward
that
to
show?
it. December 8th.
December 8th. Okay.
It's at the UBS Arena, which is the new Islanders arena where the hockey team is playing. So we'll see.
Cassie says after her first show, she's a super fan now.
Yeah. Oh, same. Like I became a super fan like before, the Arthur Ashe, but like even now, like that just like drove the dagger in even more. Like I went back and I started watching SmackDown tonight to do this review, and I'm just like sitting through the first few segments, and I'm like, I was at Arthur Ashe Stadium watching Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching SmackDown. What a difference a few days could make.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Now for Cassie, like to put it into perspective, I think the only other wrestling show that she'd ever been to live was a local independent show that we went to.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now, I know you've been to Manias, Raws, things like that. Cassie's first big show ever, first live big wrestling show was All Out.
Wow. What a way to just go right into it.
What a show to get into it, man.
That's amazing. That is so cool.
Now, I think Hawk's first big show was when we went to Double or Nothing back in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so awesome to have like your first experience be like one of those big AEW shows. I'm glad that like a lot of us can share that kind of experience.
I know. It's
so cool.
Yeah. I love the community that we have, man. It's I love that at any given time you and I can jump on a show, or me and Chad, or me and Mike, or me and Tom, or you and Tom, and you and Mike. I mean, there's just so many iterations of people that we can get on the show, and it's so much fun. With that being said, I think we'll probably wrap it up here for the night. But man, what a great time talking with you about the show. I love hearing firsthand accounts of how things went down live. Yeah.
I wanted to get on this show just to talk about like there's so much that I wanted to say from my experience, just because it was so different from everything else.
It blew my mind. I was beyond impressed with all things. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you jumped on too, man. Mike's internet was out. Tom's a tired boy.
Yeah.
He's a little tired boy, went to sleep. Hawk, he I guess just didn't want to get on.
Yeah.
So
he's already saying goodnight over there.
We will take good night. No, Hawk, I think we're gonna. Won't you just jump on for about 20 minutes and talk with us?
Yeah, come on, get in here.
Yeah, jump on, man. No, but yeah, I'm glad me and you got on here. I'm glad you got on and talked to me about Rampage. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I guess how's Tom ended? Peace, love, and wrestling.
Peace, love, and wrestling.
Peace, love, and wrestling.